Hello. 20 days until the end of the year. Again, a few days late, but uh, yeah, it's been a little bit difficult because I would say the last 10 days I've been feeling pretty cool. I've been feeling pretty good about it, um, about my upcoming trip, and not being as nervous as I have been in the past. But now that it's coming up, I'm starting to get a little nervous, and I know I would need another 2 months to finish the projects that I want to do. But in fact, maybe even more than 2 months, but it's just not going to happen. So I need to use my time wisely, and for some reason, I'm not spending too much of my time intentionally. I am spending more time with my family, which I think is important and is more important than I think. Because on my list of things that I need to get done or do or spend time doing before I go, spending time with family is important. It's on that list, but I'm sure maybe it's more important than I've been thinking that it is. So I'm trying to do that more and spend less time just in my room alone working on projects. I'm actually trying to clean up my room right now, which means it's looking messier than usual. But let's get into what I've been doing, and I'm going to give a little update at the end here with my trip. So 20 days left, and I thought I was counting things wrong because it feels like there's less than 20 days left of the year when it was 20 days left. Like today I'm filming this on the 16th, so there's actually 16 days left if you count the day I'm on, um, which is interesting. Almost 2 weeks. That's a lot. That's not so much time. But anyway, so day 20 was December 12th. Oh, we're doing until 20 days left, sorry. So day 30. Wow, we're going really, really far back. December 2nd was 30 days left. This was a really short day. I had some bad, I struggled with my sleeping schedule and stuff, and I stayed up very, very late the night before. So it was a short day. I played some Disco Elysium, then I did some yard work. Then I watched Star Wars by myself and then went to sleep. Day only felt like a few hours long, and I wanted that day to be like a pivotal day, because the day before was my 100th day of being the sunflower, and I was just feeling really like I hadn't continued to transform as I promised that I would, with that transformation I did in the summer. And I wanted the next day to be pivotal, but I was just so tired. It was a very short day. Then the 29th day, December 3rd, Sunflower, the Lords. I did spend some time praying, and I think I settled into that and felt a bit more motivated to live well. I did some comic drawing, I did some Bleach fight talk. Yep, I did well. And then the next day, day 28, I did more work on the Bleach video, which I've not done much work on now. So I've invested time on that. It seems like with a lot of projects, I get to like 70% of the way in, and then I give up because I'm like, oh, well, there's not much left. And I've been working on this for a while now. So I should work on another project just to give me a break from this project, and then I can come back and do the last 30%, because the last 30% is the most difficult bit because it's tweaking and just continuing the repetitive motions. And then I have several projects that are like halfway through or mostly done, but I don't finish them. So that's annoying. Day 27, I did more Bleach, and I got some good groceries too. So kind of a funny sentence, but Bleach the TV show. I was working on a video about Bleach the TV show, and I got some good groceries. Day 26, I was playing a game called Candy Star Baby. It's incredibly trick lifestyle. It's a horrific game. Pretty enthralling though. I played Half-Life 2, Episode 1 and 2, which was really, really nice. The next day, I binged Kitchen Nightmares while working on other projects in the background and stuff. I was struggling a little bit with energy, so I'm trying to mix up my diet more and have some more grains and stuff like that. Then day 24, played some more Half-Life 2, did some editing on Pokemon video, more Kitchen Nightmares. I was still struggling with my sleep schedule, and I messed up a week prior, so I slept in, and I also did some writing that day. Day 23, I did a run. I ran a couple kilometers as soon as I got up to try and kickstart my day and trying to help me get out of my kind of sleepiness after sleeping in with my sleep schedule. And then I did some recording with my friend, one of my best friends, Caleb from Wales, and we recorded a Game of the Year video that I'm currently editing also. The very next day, day 22, I ran in the morning, and I've been recovering because I think I went a little bit too hard. All of a sudden, picking up running first thing in the morning for a few kilometers, because I did it like twice, and then the third time I went for it, I couldn't really run, so I just did a walk. And continued to do video editing on Game of the Year. Day 21, I did some more yard work. I hung out with my older friend Teresa, which was really nice, and it was good to catch up on someone that I've not seen so much in the last while. And then I did some more editing. And then, do I finish on day 20? I do finish. Let's do day 20 also. So maybe I overlap because I talked about day 30. Oh well. Day 20. Blessing in the morning. I had some very encouraging words from a close friend of mine, which was really nice. Overslept again though, so it was barely the morning. And then I got wrapped up in this whole Canada input on my phone, and I did that all day, and did more recording of Game of the Year video, just finishing up getting some more footage. Yeah, so that data thing really took up a few days where I was just like basically exhaustively all day, like 10, 11 hours, 12 hours a day, just inputting data onto my phone. So when I go on my trip, I have data about like a, a bunch of stuff. It's all organized really nicely. I would show you, but I'm using my phone to record right now. But it's organized really nicely, and I have like all of the cities and the districts of some of the provinces and how the provinces rank with population density and population and their city size and different water routes and lakes and stuff like that. I was looking at the water tables and whatnot and catchment areas. So I did that a lot, and I kind of felt like, oh, am I learning too much before my journey even begins? Or, but I know the journey itself is going to be like really different from how I imagine it. It's always like when you see something on a map and then when you go there, it's different, feels different, even if you have like pictures or do street view or something like that. But yeah, I think doing so much research on my trip and extra planning last minute has just made me realize like, oh goodness, this is a big journey. This is a big journey. This is a really big journey. It's going to be a lot of work. So I'm feeling that right now, but I want to get ready. That's why I'm trying to get everything ready. Which leads me to my next point is I kind of started this series counting down when I realized, oh, there's only 100 days left of the year and I'm feeling really emotional, and I announced that I'm going on this trip. And my intention was to begin at the very beginning of the year by like January 1st, doing a month backpacking on the island and then doing 11 months cycling across Canada mainland. But that I've reconsidered because as much as I realize that when I leave, I'm not going to stick to my plan exactly. I know God will have surprises for me because he's cool like that, and that's just how life goes. It's more interesting with surprises and things like that. Even if I basically stick to the route mostly, there's going to be little deviations. There's going to be surprises with how things actually look. Maybe the easy bits will be hard and the hard bits will be easy. I don't know. But I've been thinking about this trip for so many years. Not years. Sorry, I only planned this like I started thinking about it maybe like 14 months ago. So not even a year and a half, but so many months I've been thinking about this trip, and I realized as much as I want to let go of my plan, even though I'm like meticulously planning and it's stressing me out a little bit, because I want to plan to fall back on, or I feel like, if I plan stuff now, it will allow me to have more opportunities, but also, shouldn't I just follow God's spirit at the same time? Isn't that better? I don't know, but it's kind of cool to have the information on my phone, so when I get somewhere, I can be like, oh, this is this place that's connected to this place that has, and it's the seventh most populated place, and I don't have to look it up or use the internet if I don't have access to that or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm realizing as much as the journey itself I need to give into the hands of God, also when I go needs to be given into the hands of God, because I can't be like, ooh, I want to do it every day. I want it to be 12 months exactly. I want it to be an entire year, because that's me just being prideful. So I should leave when God tells me to leave. And I've changed my plans for backpacking for a whole month across the island, because I think that's a little bit too harsh on my body, especially as my backpack kind of sucks. So I decided let's just do some more cycling and make it 3 weeks. So I have a week to work with last preparations and maybe some recovery, or I don't know. But 3 weeks, my plan's looking like 3.5 weeks. But at the same time, I don't know if I'm going to have time for that. And I should leave when God tells me to leave. So I have a 3-week plan. But if God tells me to go like 3 weeks into January, I'm just going to do a week touring the island, because I still want to tour the island a little bit before I leave to go to the mainland. Or that means that I need to spend more time on the island and let the summer come the spring come a little bit closer before I decide to go over the Rockies. I don't know. But essentially, what I'm saying is that 20 days, that my diary, 20 days left of 2024, it is that, but it's not also 20 days left until I begin my trip. And I'm going to be posting a video explaining about my trip properly before I leave. Yeah, so I don't know when it's going to be. I think it's still going to be sometime in January, but I don't think it's going to be January 1st. But I want to do the work to get ready, mostly mentally preparing myself, spiritually preparing myself, so that when he says, Freddie, time to go. Just like in Matthew chapter 4. Matthew chapter 4, I think it's verse 20, when Jesus calls the disciples, and it says, immediately they left their nets and followed him. And when God calls me, I want to immediately be able to leave and go. So I'm trying to get everything ready. I decided to invest, even though I'm lower on funds than I expected. I decided with my trip going up into the mountains and getting hypothermia, I decided I need to buy a good, reliable, I don't want to spend a bunch of money, but I'm usually a bit of a cheapskate, and cheap skate, and I don't get good quality gear. So I need to get good quality gear. So I'm splurging a little bit, and I'm buying a power bank, and I'm buying a good lightweight raincoat, and I'm buying a good compactable sleeping bag, because my sleeping bag, I can't really. Hold on. Oh, I can't show you. There's stuff all over it. But I got this big sleeping bag. It's kind of cheap. It's almost 2 kilograms, and it has this massive bag. And it's pretty warm because my lighter sleeping bag has a hole in it. But I always use my lighter sleeping bag with a hole in it because it's like half the weight. It's like a kilogram, and I can carry it, and it's half the size. So it's just way too bulky, but it's gonna be super cold. And what if there's like a cold freeze and I'm in the cold snap and I'm in the middle of nowhere? So I want to invest in a better sleeping bag that is lighter than my big sleeping bag, but is warmer, and is more compactable like my smaller sleeping bag. And it being warmer and more compactable and lighter, that means it costs way more money. So those 3 equipment: emergency power bank, lightweight emergency power bank, raincoat, and sleeping bag. That's what I'm spending some extra money on. So I'm even more out of pocket than I thought I would be, leaving uh, in the beginning of next year. But that's okay, because I'm going to trust in the Lord's provision, and it should be good. It should work out. I still think I'm okay financially. And I'm actually selling some of my stuff. I'm selling some of my childhood games and that for a pretty cheap price, just because it's Christmas coming soon, so I'm selling some stuff I could probably get twice the amount of money for, but I want somebody to have a good Christmas, and they have more budget for their Christmas than they thought, or they have a better gift for their Christmas than they thought, and I get some money too. So I'm trying to get a bit of money back by selling some of my games, and maybe even selling some of my instruments. Yeah. So those were my days 30 to 20, and an update that my trip might be delayed because I'm gonna try and go by God's plan and not my plan. Even though I'm still holding on to my plan because I'm like, it's probably going to be in January, and God might tell me to wait longer than that. I'm selling some of my stuff. I'm trying to organize my things. I'm trying to be in a mental space and position physically also with my stuff ready, where when God calls me, like the disciples in Matthew chapter 4, verse 20, I can just immediately leave my stuff and follow him and go on this journey. So that's the update, and I'll be doing a dedicated video about my trip, just going through the plan in more detail sometime soon, probably the very beginning of next year or the very end of this year. So a little extra long update, and I hope you have a good day. Thank you for watching. Bye. God loves you.